Tonight, on The Power of One, we're going to talk to you about a great boxer. No, not me. I know watching that you were probably thinking, I know what you're thinking, what the hell is he doing? My boxing career actually lasted about a half a round when I was at the boys club many years ago. Went in and found out after many months of training that the other guy was going to be throwing punches at me too. Ooh, not such a cool deal. That's a sad but true story, folks. But tonight I'm going to tell you about a real boxer. And this boxer is not only a 7-time world champion in 7 different weight divisions, which has never been done before, but more importantly, it's been said of him that he has the same impact in his country that he's from, of the Philippines, as Nelson Mandela did in South Africa. Tonight, we'll tell you the story of Manny Pacquiao on The Power of One. You know, if this is the first show that you've seen in our series, this show every week is all about what one individual can do if you just are willing to follow through with your dreams. If you go back and look at some of the shows we have archived, which I recommend you do, you're going to see all different kinds of people from all different walks of life. Well, tonight's another story of a gentleman who dropped out of school in 3rd grade. He moved away from home when he was in his early teen years. As a matter of fact, his family had no idea where he went. He went from a little tiny town called General Santos in the Philippine Islands, which was very poverty stricken. Still today, about 1/3 of the people that live there live in poverty. It's very much a part of the third world, and he moved from there to Manila, which was the capital of the country and in a little bit better financial situation, and he started fighting professionally at 16 years old. Now, I know a lot of you are going, well, you can't do that, you have to be 18. Not only did he start fighting at 16, but he only weighed about 95 pounds, which is about 10 pounds or so under the legal weight for fighting. So he used to go to his weigh-ins with just his shorts on, but he used to put bars of steel concealed into his shorts so he could go ahead and weigh in and make the weight. So here's someone who's 2 years too young and 10 pounds too light, and he starts fighting people older and bigger than him, and he starts winning fights again and again and again. By the time he was 19 years old, he had won his first world championship. I mean, this is remarkable stuff. And I've seen him in interviews, and he said, you know, he just wanted anyone in the world to know, if you have a dream and you're willing to work hard to make it happen, anything is possible. Well, I think Manny Pacquiao has definitely proven that to be true, because as his career went along, he is, as I shared with you in the opening, won championships in 7 different weight divisions, which no one has ever done before. And so many of us live our lives and we're playing follow the leader. We're just sitting back going, well, I'm not this or I'm not that, and this is the best anyone's ever done. We all know the story of Roger Bannister, who I'm sure we'll feature in a future show. But Roger Bannister was the first person to break the 4-minute mile, and everyone said it was impossible, and if you did it, you know, you would die and all that kind of good stuff, and your heart would stop or whatever, your lungs would collapse, whatever they said, because no one had ever done it before. But Roger Bannister didn't listen to that garbage. He ran a 4-minute mile, and then dozens of people did it within a matter of months after he broke the barrier. I always say we live in a monkey see, monkey do kind of world. Everyone's waiting for someone else to do it first. Well, Manny Pacquiao is a trendsetter. Manny Pacquiao is someone who is doing a paradigm shift in boxing. He wasn't waiting for someone else to do it first. He just stepped up. He had no pedigree to do it. His first time he ever found out about boxing is his uncle and his couple family friends were sitting there listening to a radio, and he didn't know what they were doing, so he asked them, and they told him it was a boxing match, and he listened to it. He got excited and he goes, I want to be like that guy. Well, the guy he was listening to was a fight by a gentleman named Mike Tyson, and I'm sure we've all heard of Mike Tyson. Although Mike's had some issues, you got to admit, certainly early in his career, he's one of the greatest boxers ever. So that was Manny Pacquiao's original inspiration, and it just drove him to go out and do amazing things. And if you haven't ever seen any film, if you're a boxing fan, you know who he is. But if you haven't, if you're a casual fan, you got to go and look at a highlight reel of this guy. He doesn't just knock people out. He annihilates people. I mean, I've never seen so many people woozy after they got hit, stammering around the room like they got hit with a bus or something. I mean, this guy really, for a little man, I mean, I don't think he's ever weighed more than 150 pounds, but you talk about having dynamite in his punch. I mean, he punishes his opponents. He really is an exceptional boxer who comes through time and time again. He's beaten some of the greatest champions in the world, has been called many times the greatest fighter pound for pound in the world. But what's more important is this, folks. Here's a gentleman who now has, made tens of millions of dollars in his career, could be anywhere he wants to. They say he is more popular in the Philippines than Michael Jordan and the Beatles combined, which is hard to imagine. But here's a guy, and I don't know if you know a lot about certain areas of the Philippines, the place where he lives is very dangerous. Not only do they kidnap, visiting, people from other countries who have wealth, they definitely kidnap a lot of their own folks. So Manny Pacquiao has 30 full-time bodyguards. He has M16s all over his house. I mean, he literally has a compound with weapons in it so his family can stay in the Philippines. And it's so funny, a lot of his friends are like, are you kidding me? Move to the United States, live the good life. What are you doing? You're crazy. But in his heart, he can't do that because he loves the place where he grew up. So much so that for years he's been giving food and building schools and doing all these amazing things, and much of it under the radar without a whole lot of people knowing what was going on. But he was always contributing to his community again and again and again. And recently he was elected to the Senate in the Philippines. This gentleman eventually wants to have an impact on everyone living in that country and really make a difference. And I'm just sharing with you guys what an amazing story of what one person can do. Someone who dropped out of school in 3rd grade, someone who was too young to do what he wanted to do, someone who was too light to do what he wanted to do, someone the experts, don't you love the experts? The experts said was never going to amount to anything, and he ended up being, if not the greatest fighter of all time, certainly one of the 5 or 10 greatest of any weight class ever. And in addition to that, more importantly, when he has all the wealth in the world, could live anywhere he wants, instead of taking the easy road, he's staying right where he grew up, and he's going to go to his grave having an impact, really changing the lives of as many human beings as he possibly can. This guy is a true hero, and I am honored to tell you his story on The Power of One. We'll see you next week.